Greeting to all YouTube viewers. I am McKenzie. I am making this video about my experience living in the United States for the past 51 years after I left from London, England in 1973, where I was living, to come to the United States to be with my mother, who did immigrated from London, England to the United States. I have lived in London, England for 12 years after I left from Jamaica in 1961 to go to London to live. While I was living in London, I had a little body shop at age 18, but because I did not have the money to get a good location, to get good business, it was a struggle trying to exist as a business. When I came to the United States, I was first living in Brooklyn, New York for a short time before I moved to New Jersey to live. While living in New Jersey, I had worked at a few auto body shops, but I could not cope with the speed one had to work in the various body shops here in the United States compared to that of London, where the working is about quality and class, and it's not about speed, but it's about perfection. So in 1978, I went and opened my own little auto body shop in the Newark area of New Jersey. But it was a struggle trying to survive, paying rent, and not getting enough business to make things work. So many of the time, I used to work 7 days a week and sleeping in the body shop trying to make things work. I also had a few properties in Newark and a general contractor license to work on my properties because I used to work on the building site in Jamaica during the 50s. I went and bought a 4-family house in Newark, paying $6,000 per month because it was a rip-off mortgage I had gotten that I was not aware of when I was getting the mortgage to buy the property. The lawyer I used to do the closing on the property was a Jewish lawyer, and it seemed to me he was working with the mortgage company and also with the real estate agency, who I got to do the closing on the property. He did not explain much to me of the bad sign to look for when buying a property in the United States. So after the closing, I came to realize that there were all sorts of problems and violations with this property. So after owning the property and making all sorts of repairs and going through various problems with the city of Newark and paying lawyer fees, which is I pay about $17,000 in lawyer fee, trying to get the mortgage to reduce to affordable monthly payment. I lost the property in 2009 in foreclosure. After leaving New Jersey in 2010 to go to Georgia, I went to the city of Columbus, Georgia, and I opened an auto body shop there. But none of my auto body shop business was not successful for me. The reason why my body shop business did not work out in Columbus, Georgia, it is because the location I had was not the best of location in getting business. Eventually I became broke and homeless because I could no longer afford to pay the rent for the body shop where I used to live as my home. So I was evicted from the body shop in 2012, and it was a good thing I had a Chevy box truck where I rebuilt the engine from the block up. That did become my home, living on the street for 2 years. While living on the street in the box truck, I had 2 kerosene heaters to keep me warm during the winter. So after I closed up the body shop in Columbus, Georgia, I went to the City Hall of Columbus trying to get my general contractor license to be renewed that I had with the city of Newark while I was living in New Jersey. I was told by the city inspector of Columbus that I cannot have a general contractor license in the state of Georgia unless I have a college degree, showing what college I went to and the various companies I worked for after I left from college. So because I did not have any college degree, I had to settle for Andaman home renovation license that I'm presently using in my Andaman business here in Atlanta, Georgia. My reason for writing about my experience living here in the United States for the past 51 years and struggling to be a successful person in life, it is because if I was living in the land of Ham, many people know today as Africa, or in Jamaica, with the same effort and knowledge as I did try to build myself here in the United States, I would have gone much further in life in comparison to living here in the United States and try the way I have tried to better my life. I'm writing the story of mine to give many Hamite people who are living in the land of Ham or in the island of Jamaica or in other places where we happen to find ourselves, to let them realize that it is not all peaches and ice cream living here in the United States for many Hamite people who they call as the black people. To work to make a living to better their standard of living, as how many Hamite people might think, who want to come to the United States, the land of milk and honey and opportunities to better their lives. I must point out that the United States is indeed the land of opportunities in comparison to the land of Ham and in many of the Caribbean islands where many Hamite people are living without much opportunities to better their standard of living. But although the United States is the land of opportunity, it depends on who one is and where they're living. Many Hamite people need to realize that what became known as the United States of America was not built and developed for the Hamite people in mind, but it was built and developed by the British for the people of Europe and other people who they want to live in their system. And it was not built for the Hamite people who were brought to the United States and other Hamite people who come to the United States to make a living, and also for the many natives who were here before the coming of the people of Europe, who came and take away their lands and see themselves as the new natives. I must point out that many of the natives who were enslaved by the Spanish and other European people who were given their freedom from 1500 to 1600 AD, and many of the natives could go in many places in the United States that many Hamite people of the United States could not go. So for Hamite persons who are living in the United States, many of whom try to better themselves from an economical point of view, it is all sort of red invisible tape when one go to the city hall to get their license or permit to do this or that. Where a European person do not have to go through these red tapes to keep them back, like what many Hamite people have to go through in the United States who have their little business when they go to the city hall to get their license or permit to do this or to get their license to have a business. I also want to point out that it is much easier for a person of Europe to get a visa to come to the United States more than many Hamite people of the land of Ham and in the Caribbean. While it is easy for any European people to leave from Europe or from any part of their conquered colonies to go to the land of Ham to open any sort of business or to live there without any problem and any red tape to keep them back, like what many Hamite people have to go through when trying to come to the United States, or even to live in the United States or in Europe or in any part of their colonies they are ruled over. I also want to mention to many Hamite people who are living in the land of Ham and elsewhere that although a person might buy a house or land in the United States, they cannot truly own it as long as they live, so long as they keep on paying their property taxes when it is due to be paid to the city or state. But if for some reason they become sick or unemployed and broke and can no longer pay the taxes for their properties will be auctioned off to the highest bidder at the public auction, and they will become homeless people living on the street or become known as the street people. So I'm writing this story of mine to let many Amite people who are living in the land of Am and elsewhere that it is not all peaches and ice cream living in the United States, as how many may think, because they have no knowledge of the system of the United States. Although the land of Am may not have all the opportunities like that of the United States, where a person can do much better financially and to become more successful, yet in my opinion, if one has some money to open their own little business in the land of Am, where the country is much stable and there is not a lot of wars and political rivalry taking place to cause disruption and suffering that did come down from the colonial era of the people of Europe and also of the Mohammedan Muslim people. In my opinion, after living in the United States for all these many years and have the experience I have, it would be much better for a Amite person to have their own little business and properties in the land of Am, to pass it on to their next generation after they pass, without one have to lose their properties and living on the street because they can no longer afford to pay the taxes on their properties like how it is here in the United States, where one do not truly own anything but the state and the city who own all things. My question to these Gentile people of the United States: how much did they pay to the natives for their lands they have taken away that no other people can own? How much did they pay Yahweh for the land, river, and stream they have killed so many people for? Also, I would like to point out that it is very easy for a Amite person who is living in the United States to go to jail or prison for parking tickets that they cannot afford to pay to the city or state that gave them the ticket summons to go to court for the parking meter violation. Because the system of the United States was built upon making money from their many captive free slave people who became their citizens to make money from. It is also very easy for Amite persons who are living in the United States to lose their life and to be shot down by the police officer just because of who they are as a person. But when it comes down to the Amite people of the United States, bringing glory and fame to the United States, whether it is music, sport, track and field, or anything for that matter, it is all joy and laughter for many of the Gentile people of the United States. Also in Europe, bringing glory and trophy to them. But apart from that, they are not appreciated by the United States, Europe, Canada, and in many parts of the world where these people are in control of. Thank you, YouTube, for giving me this opportunity to bring out this video. This is the truth, but you know, as the saying goes, many people do not like to hear the truth, but this is it. The truth has to be told, whether one like it or not. Sorry to say, but this is it. Thank you. Take care.